Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome back to the Ministry of Wrestling for your weekly dose of TNA Total Non-Stop Impact Wrestling action right here on Ministry of Wrestling. I've said wrestling a lot there in that first opening salvo. But yes, I am Double V, the Viceroy of Verisimilitude. If you are fans of TNA Wrestling, this is the place to be. We cover all wrestling on this channel, of course, but I am the TNA guy, self-assigned on the channel. And we are now covering the latest episode of TNA Impact. And let's get right into it. We opened with a big old apology from one AJ Francis saying he was going to get an apology from Joe Hendry and he'd be hanging around in the VIP booth until then. Now, each and every week, we have been opening with the X Division, and true to form, that continues here with Ali versus friend of the channel, Chris Bay. The match was pretty short, all things considered. There was some beauty, speedy, technical, almost chain wrestling here. I mean, these two are so fluid in the ring, it's crazy. But as expected, Ali used his henchman to win, to quote Big Tone, by nefarious means, clocking Chris Bay with the flag on the turnbuckle. Ali lands the 450 splash and picks up the 1, 2, 3. Now, then it became a difficult problem, because on the Ministry of Wrestling, we interview a lot of TNA wrestlers. Danny Luna, Chris Bay, Alicia Edwards, Ash Liggins. More to come. We then had a match with two friends of the channel, because both Danny Luna and Alicia Edwards were in action. Now, Alicia came out with Marsha Slamovich, so you've got to think that the Knockout Tag Team Gold is changing hands soon. And listen, they put on a very decent match, but yeah, Marsha ended up getting involved, massive spin kick, followed by the snowplow on Danny Luna, and Alicia Edwards picked up the victory. We then had a really weird segment, because Sami Callihan, who came back at the recent pay-per-view, and it was so good to see Sami. Made me happy. Got all warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum, to quote Simon Miller. Seeing Sami Callihan back was a thing of beauty. But they gave us the first episode of DMTV. And I'll be real, it was quite weird in terms of its presentation. Very shaky cammy, very up in your face. And it was basically saying Sami saying that he was going to deal with the backstage false prophets. So I guess that kind of makes me think that somewhere down the line he's going to be the one that takes the X Division title off of Ali. That would be my guess. Not sure about the presentation of DMTV. Listen, it may work for some people. It wasn't for me. But it's cool to see Sami back. And they've obviously got something brewing for him. We then carried on with Hammerstone versus Cody Deaner. And this is obviously on the road to Under Siege, which is tomorrow night. And a behemoth match lined up between Hammerstone and Jake Something. Now, I'm glad that they've moved past the Josh Alexander rivalry. But you have to think, with Under Siege looming, this is only ending one way. Despite Deaner's ineffable charm on the mic and bringing in the no DQ stipulation, man, Hammerstone destroyed him. He absolutely destroyed him. This match really, like, it didn't live long. Hammerstone chokeslammed him through a table. He put him in the torture rack, and yeah, done. Now, it's good that they continue to present Hammerstone as a beast. They should continue to present him as a beast. I'll say this, though. TNA need to cool it on the no DQ. That's disgusting, I'm sorry. No DQ street fight. Because at the moment, it feels we're getting one literally every single week, every single pay-per-view. There's some sort of no DQ stipulation. And less is more sometimes. It will become the law of diminishing returns if you keep doing a no DQ match every week. They just lose their value, they lose their wow factor, and they just then become normalized. And you don't really want to normalize a no disqualification, specifically a street fight. You don't want to normalize that. We then had what can only be described as a backstage promo train, because we had the digital exclusive showing Nick Nemeth injured, unable to compete at Understage. This is obviously a work, but it still sucks because I wanted to see more of Nick. Broken Matt Hardy will be taking his place with Speedball Mountain. Officially inducted into House Hardy, dig this, has Trent the Seventh and Ball of Speed for Deletion. Like, okay. It's good banter. These three are going to be teaming up at Under Siege to take on the system. You got to think the system are going to win that. And it's going to continue to push the system as the top stable in TNA. Possibly the top stable in wrestling at the moment. Like, they're really, really being backed. And then it was time for the apology. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry, my favorite man in wrestling. I'm sorry, can we just be real? This man is a national freaking treasure. Now, he had to come out and give an apology to AJ Francis for all of the bantering that's happened over the course of the last few weeks. And Joe Hendry decided context is required. Some serious context is required. an excuse to re-sing his banter songs, Cheese It King, and banned from diving. Now, if you haven't heard these, please go and watch the old TNA episodes. Please go and find the clips on YouTube. They are so good. I could not stop laughing. And then Joe got even deeper. The apology song was so harsh. Can you please get fired? Lyrics of which included, can you please get out the door? Can you please get fired? 'Cause it's happened twice before. 'Cause it's happened twice before. I mean, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, I love Joe Hendry. I love Joe Hendry so much. He is a wonderful, wonderful man. He is a beautiful specimen of a man. And he should be pushed to the moon. And he needs to be a champion. I want him to be champion after Moose. I don't know if they'll do it. But he is my favourite thing in wrestling at the moment. Following Joe Hendry, we had a number one contender match between Ace Austin and Trey Miguel. Now, the winner of this would go on to face Ali at Under Siege. And bearing in mind that the show opened with Chris Bay against Ali, and Chris Bay lost, there's some interesting seeds being planted with this booking. And wouldn't you know, after a really, really good exchange between Miguel and Ace Austin, as chance would have it, Ace Austin lands the fold, he gets the 1-2-3. And he's going on to Under Siege to fight for TNA Gold. Now, I don't think he's going to win. I think they're keeping the title on Ali for a while. But I've called this split beforehand. I've been wrong. But I'm going to keep calling it. Under Siege is where the ABC are finally going to split up. I don't want them to split up. I love the ABC. But you got to say it's going to be here. And if not, I'm going to keep calling it. Because it is happening. Now, we then got to the main event. And it was Jordan Grace against Mia Yamashita. Yamashita, sorry, if I pronounce it properly. Yamashita. Now, shout out as always to TNA for being the best place in the world for women's wrestling. Not restricted to just one women's match per TV show, but also main eventing. And that's how you treat women's wrestling. You don't do it as some kind of tokenistic showpiece, like what they do on AEW. And more recently, like kind of what they've been doing over in WWE, the supposed two biggest wrestling companies in the world. Frankly, TNA are putting them to shame when it comes to women's wrestling. Now, when it comes to Mia Yamashita, I don't watch Tokyo Joshi Pro, but I do like the way Yamashita wrestles, man. Really, really educated feet, good with the kicks. And listen, for someone who's never watched Joshi Pro, this is she was a good showcase for the company. It made me go, oh damn, maybe I need to watch more of this product. But being real, this was never really anything more than an exhibition match. But it made sense, you know. You have Jordan in the main event again, emphasizing how much of a machine she is. Of course, she got the win going into Under Siege, all while she lands the Jordan, the Juggernaut driver. All the while, Ash by Elegance looking over her. And yeah, you do have to think that Ash by Elegance looking over proceedings, they're just teasing one thing here. This Jordan is going to have a good run. Ash is coming for that title. But it needed, again, Steph DeLander, Con, and PCO getting screen time off the back of a Jordan Grace match, which we've done for a few weeks now. They did this post-bell ring, so the ladies at least got to do the ring without people getting involved. They got to do the match without people getting involved, which is good. But sadly, I keep saying, I don't see the fascination with this angle. But that's a me problem. People do seem to like it. There were chants of PCO. There's clearly some intrigue being built with PCO perving on Steph DeLander. Personally speaking, I'm far more invested in the Jordan Grace and Ash by Elegance tease of what's coming in the future than I am with PCO and Con. But all in all, listen, another really decent episode of Wrestling TV from TNA. They continue to be an undervalued, underappreciated, but brilliant wrestling product. I will continue to support them. I will continue to say each and every week, please, I know there's a lot of wrestling out there with your New Japans and your AEWs and your WWEs, but please, please, please dedicate some time to watching TNA. It's a really good product at the moment. But that's all from me for another week of TNA Total Nonstop Action Impact Wrestling. Under Siege is tonight, is Friday, so please do go ahead and check that out. It's kind of being presented more as a bit of a B pay-per-view, kind of like WWE have done with Backlash, but it is still one to watch as it's going to progress some storylines. What goes down with the system, what goes down with Ali, the ABC, Jordan Grace and Ash by Elegance. There's maybe Alicia Edwards bringing more gold over to the system. There's a lot of good teasers being done here, but let me know down below. Are you guys going to be watching Under Siege? Are you regular watchers of TNA? Leave your thoughts and your comments down below. Please do be sure to subscribe to the channel, which you can do right over here. There's another video for you guys to watch right here. And until next time, I'm Double V, the Viceroy of Verisimilitude, and I will see you right here on the Ministry of Wrestling for more TNA action. Bye for now.